being that we're here talking about crossing the line and going too far, once again, the power of a dollar. It's like I could use the classic example of Pulp Fiction. Now Pulp Fiction is a classic movie. Quentin Tarantino doing what Quentin Tarantino does. You have some scenes in that movie that are just going to carry forever. Like, obviously, when Travolta and Samuel L., you know what I'm saying, go to collect. Yeah, I mean, in the whole speech that Samuel L. gives, like, there's just some amazing shit in that movie. Quick sidebar. Shout out to my old barber Mo. That's right. I wasn't bald forever. Right. I had braids at one point. I had waves in high school. You know what I'm saying? Quick shout out to my old barber from Staten Island, Mo. Everybody from Staten Island know Heavy Set Mo. He's one of the best barbers in the whole borough. But I remember I lost a bet to him. It was for like $50, $100, something like that. He bet me that in that Pulp Fiction briefcase was what was Ving Rhames' name in the movie? But I'll just say Ving Rhames. That Ving Rhames' soul is in that suitcase. In my mind, Pulp Fiction isn't a scientific sci-fi movie, or it's not some, fantasy type movie. Like, you got people getting shot and doing bets, bad boxing bets and everything, and on the run from mobsters from that and everything, saying Bruce Willis's role and everything. And I was just like, how do you get to the point where somebody's soul is in a briefcase? Like, get out of here. I thought that was like gold or something, like the way it opened up and it shined in Travolta's face, like that yellow glow. I thought I was like gold, or like money or diamonds or some shit. Turns out, man, Quentin Tarantino strikes again. It was Marcellus. Yeah, Marcellus was his name. Marcellus Wallace's soul is in the shit. And they say even the scene when Bruce Willis comes to see him in the nightclub, and the camera's just from the back of Marcellus, the Band-Aid that's on his neck, that's supposed to be a depiction of supposedly if the devil takes your soul, he takes it from the back of your neck or the top of your spine or something like that, right? I didn't know all of this at the time when I first saw it. And Quentin Tarantino on his wild ass shit as always, right? But anyway, my bad. I had to jump in my movie bag for a second. But anyway, speaking of Pulp Fiction scenes, to make the point that I was making, trace back to what we just spoke about with Aries Spears and Tiffany Haddish and that disgusting that shit that's going around. What is crossing the line? What is too much? The scene that Ving Rhames did, and the last thing I've ever been in my life is homophobic. It doesn't matter. I've never been that type of person. I'm not insecure. I'm not the guy to go. I'm not that at all. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm so grounded and so cool with anybody. And I've been like that even before this overly homophobic wave has come into society of everything being paused and everything being no homo. As a kid, I was always just comfortable being me regardless. You know what I'm saying? So I'm not that guy. But the point that I'm making is that still, if you are willing to do certain things like that for $1, I understand acting is acting. And it's like, oh, this is movie. This is just entertainment. But you have to set boundaries for yourself. You want to avoid people in this world that don't set boundaries, especially if they come off like they would do anything for $1. I gave an example like that on my Instagram recently as well, a couple weeks ago. I was asking a question. If somebody says that, I had to do what's good for me at that moment, right? I'm not speaking about anybody in particular, any specific situation. For those that know me from battle rap, right? This is a general conversation. If somebody is willing to say, I had to do what worked for me at that particular moment, is that not the formula of a snitch, right? Because when you're sitting in that box with the detectives in front of you questioning you, if you decided I had to do what worked best for me at that moment, that's when you start pulling everybody else in and say, oh no, this person was the one that gave it to me. This was the person that did it, not me. This is the person that said that we should do it. This is the person that was the driver, because you're doing what's best for you in that situation, right? Is that not the formula of a snitch, right? So how do you prevent that as an individual? Boundaries. No matter what, I will never do this. No matter what, I will never give in to that. No matter how much, I will never go over here. That's what that's about. That's what that's about. And then they laugh at Dave Chappelle when he walks away from what 50 million or some shit like that. He had certain boundaries that he wasn't willing to allow to be crossed or him to cross himself. He had boundaries. So whether we're talking about that scene in Pulp Fiction or whether we're talking about, this recent shit with Ari Spears or whatnot, that's just people not having boundaries. And me saying that it's because the person doesn't have boundaries is actually giving the person credit for their intelligence and their awareness. Because if that was like a child or maybe even a teenager or sometimes even a young man, because I didn't seen it all over the place. I didn't see young men do stupid shit where it's just like, nah, he wasn't thinking. Or young women. But even if it was like a child or a kid or something, like you get it. Like maybe they didn't fully interpret what they was doing, or maybe they didn't understand the lines that they were crossing, or maybe they didn't realize, like this ain't for me, or this is really a shame to do or disgusting to do. But I'm giving these people the credit of saying that I think that they're very, very aware of the things that they're involved in. I think they're very, very smart individuals. You know what I'm saying? That's one of the reasons why I think they've gotten to the places that they've gotten. So if you have that intelligence and if you have that awareness, yet you don't set these boundaries, you're just not my type of person.